Just, I really wish the quality on the replay of these or it's playing was as good as it is on my phone. My live feeds are crisp. When I look into my camera, well, into my phone, they're very sharp. But then when I go watch the replay, they're broken up and pixelated. The quality's horrible. So if any of you that do hang around overlook the terrible quality, thank you. I appreciate you hanging around, even though the quality is terrible. This is an iPhone 16. It has like top of the line. That's what they told me. Cameras on it. Has 3 lenses, for goodness sakes. You would think it would be good. I've got a good old case of asthma going on today, just FYI. So if I'm breathing kind of heavily, I didn't bring my inhaler with me. So there's no way for me to fix that. Hey, Chemo. Why are you eating that yucky stuff when there's so much good stuff out here? There's no accounting for taste. All the boys are right here. There's my boys, Sparky, Patches, and Chemo. Oh, Sparky puts up with a lot. Hi, Patches. Hi, sweet boy. I'm going to go down and check on the May apples. Watch, I'll find one and one of the goats will just rip it out of my hand and eat it. I'm not going to pick any, though. They're not ready to eat yet. Rosie's eating greens off the top of the poo pile. The grass is really tall up there. I think we all know why. Hi there, 2 people in here. That's a pile of poo that Rosie is standing on top of, eating all the yummies. And I'm going for a little short hike down to the May apple patch. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Okay, there's some May apples. See if I can find one with fruit. Oh, this one didn't get pollinated, so there's no fruit on it. This should be a little fruit, and instead it's not. Okay, this one should have a fruit on it. Oh, dang, it didn't get pollinated either. Look at that, nothing. Well, my May apple harvest is not going to be great if this continues. Oh my goodness. Hi there. Hey, Morgan. Hi, Rob from the UK. Hey, do you guys have May apple over there? I know a lot of our plants that we have here in the US come from over in Europe, UK. There's another one that didn't have a fruit on it. Doggone it. I want some May apple. Oh, and look at Nani's just nom-nomming down on that one. Oh, they don't usually eat them. Okay. Oh, and look at that one's got some kind of a, I don't know what, fungus or something. Look at those leaves. They're crazy. Whereabouts in the UK are you, Rob? Don't think I've been there. I went to Dover, of course, right? As a tourist, I had to go to Dover. I was in Ipswich, I think, for a wedding. Cute little city, town. Look at that little goat. Testing gravity. Yes, I was at the White Cliffs of Dover. Must have rented a car and taken a day trip. I was real sick though, so I missed the wedding that I went over there for. And then I came home early because I was pretty sick. It was a long time ago. It was in the early 1980s, long time ago. Oh, there's a tree branch right in front of my face. I think we might have to take care of that. That's not great. Oh my goodness. Another poo pile here. This one hasn't been here long enough to really grow anything. More May apples with that yellow spot on them. Can you hear the motorcycle in the distance? They go down the road really fast. They pop wheelies. Yep, another one with, oh gosh, look at that. Oops, it fell off. I got it though. I'll find it. A shriveled up fruit. So that wasn't pollinated. Dang it. I wanted some May apple fruit this year. Nah. Well, what can I say? With the goats helping me, it's possible I could have a whole bunch of fruit and the goats would eat them all. Hello, Mike. I am not half goat myself. No, in fact, I'm in flip-flops, so I'm not doing any climbing. Well, today's voice is brought to you by asthma. I was climbing down in there about 3 weeks ago, but now the mosquitoes are down there. Hey, Gold, good to see you. And when the mosquitoes are in there, it's no fun, and I don't have any deterrent with me. I have a little thing I put on my wrist that's supposed to scare the mosquitoes away. I don't know how effective it is, but I'm not going in there without really good boots and long pants. I mean, I'm wearing long pants now, but I want something more like jeans. I'm just wearing kind of like yoga pants or something. Mosquito dunks? No. I know that I'm allergic to this thing right here, and it's making me miserable with asthma. That grass, you see that? Ugh. We plant it here for the animals to eat, but oh my goodness, it's got me going crazy. What is a mosquito dunk? I've got to walk back up toward the shed. Oh, Sparky's up on an old stump. It's hard to see him over there. I'm going to zoom in. He's up on that stump. He's such a goofy guy. You put in a bucket of water. When the mosquitoes lay their eggs in the water, it kills. Oh, okay. And it still keeps the water good for drinking, like for the livestock and the ducks and stuff. So it doesn't act like a soap or something. Because that's what I used to do. If I found a bucket with water in it, something too heavy for me to dump over, I'd go get some dish soap and put it in there, and it would kill them. I don't know if my goats are going to follow me. And this pile here, there's a hole being dug over here. This is where my basement is going to be someday. At least that's what I'm being told. Down there is going to be my basement. You came here to see the motorcycle. Did you get into the live chat? I don't remember, Logan. Were you here earlier? I was on at the motorcycle event happening just over the border in Virginia. I wish the quality on my lives was better. It's really bad, isn't it? It's like broken up and pixelated, huh? Yeah, it's going to be a cabin in the woods. I think it's going to be a small footprint. And then we'll have a 2-car or 2.5-car garage with an apartment over it. And we'll probably have a smaller 1-bedroom house with a full basement. So it could be like a 3-bedroom house, but where we live most of the time will just be in the 1-bedroom part, and it'll be open. And the view will be into the forest. So where I was earlier with the goats, that'll be my view, just looking out into the forest. Supposedly there's going to be a swimming pool. I'm not holding my breath. Hey, Christy. Well, I can't really hold my breath right now. I'm having trouble just catching my breath. There's my Demo monster. I hear the tractor coming my way. I'm going to actually be turning off the microphone for a little bit because the tractor's coming and it sounds like I think my husband's going to want to have a conversation with me about something. So I'm going to turn off the microphone. I'm just going to keep showing the goats the best I can. Okay, guys? Hang in there. I'll be back on in a little bit. Hello, Google Rewrites History. Depends. Do you like doing farm chores? Okay, turning it off. I'm just going to check, see what's up. I'm back. Oh, you own a landscaping company. I grew up, my dad had a nursery first when I was a little girl, and then a few years later, he started a landscaping company, and then he started a fencing company. And between the three of them, he was able to stay busy 12 months out of the year. Unless it was a really rainy El Nino year, then he couldn't work as much. But after the rains were done, he had a lot of work to do, repairing people's landscaping, fixing fences, all the fun stuff. Here's this is the bane of my existence, this grass. Oh, I'm so allergic. Oh, hello, Onophon. Onophon. And this is another one of my views. In the winter, though, I can see the road and the road can see me, so that's not as nice. But look at that view right there. I think I want the swimming pool to be here looking out over that. And I haven't shown you guys the goats yet. I mean, the goats, duh, the ducks yet. But I won't be doing duck chores until later. Oh my goodness, my dog is right behind me. I'm probably going to step in that. It's in the really thick, deep clover. Dude, did you have to? Couldn't you do it out on the driveway where I could see it? Oi. Here's my Abizaba. Bhakti, I am in East Tennessee. My mom told me she found me under a rock, but I don't think that's true. But I'm in East Tennessee right now in the United States. Just going to sit in my chair and relax. There's a duck. She's ready for some more food. They have food and water, but she wants fresh food and fresh water. I don't blame her. Polo pony. Hey, here today. We don't have any fencing for a polo pony. There's no polo around here either. Ah, guarantee you have to go down into Florida for that. Jeff oh my goodness, what language is that? Send my brother back. Huh? Ah, yes. I know it kind of all looks the same, doesn't it, Google? And you're right about Google rewriting history. I tell you what, tell you guys a really quick, fun little story. I lived in California my whole life till just a few years ago. And over there, they shut down industry, transportation. They shut water off for people because of a fish called the Delta smelt. It's a little grunion. So part of shutting down the state was scrubbing the internet, and Google would be involved, of all information about the grunion, where it came from. See, the grunion was a little fish that was in the San Francisco, Sacramento Delta areas. And it was used as a bait fish. The Native Americans would eat it, and it was used for different things. But biologists started noticing that the numbers were dropping, and they were very concerned about it. So they got it put on the endangered species list, and it was protected. And so they shut down the waterways, and they killed people's livelihoods. They forced people out of the industry that they worked in, whatever it was. So even the literature changed. For instance, an encyclopedia from the 1980s, I took a picture of it a few weeks back when a friend bought some at an auction. I said, "Can I please take a picture of the page that talks about the smelt?" So he let me. They talk about, the wording is, smelt are found in waterways, and it mentioned different places, and one of them was the west coast of the United States. But an encyclopedia that I have, that I found from the 1960s, early 1960s, says there is no grunion or smelt native to the west coast of North America. And that's where the San Francisco and the Sacramento Delta is. It's on the west coast of North America. So the way those fish got here was in the ballast water of ships that came over from Asian waters, and maybe even over from North America and down around the Horn of South America. And they came over here, and of course they had to adjust their ballast water. So they dumped it in the Delta, and then they took on new water. And as they were dumping it, they were dropping fish that they had picked up when they picked up their ballast water in whatever place they came from. It's just a thing that ships did all over the world. So probably in the 1950s or 60s, maybe, I don't know, maybe earlier, the ships stopped dumping ballast water willy-nilly all over the world. They started filtering it, I suppose. Whatever it was, they stopped being that way in the United States anyway. I don't know about other places. So guess what happened? There were no more new fish coming in. And because it was a non-native that wasn't strong enough to survive, the numbers started dropping. But those fish had been in the North American waters on the West Coast since the probably 1700s, maybe even 1600s. So people thought they'd been here forever, but they hadn't. They're not native to that area. But Google helped change history, because when you Google them, it doesn't say anything about the fact that they were a non-native fish that just never did become acclimated to the Delta waters. So they put people out of business. People lost everything. Bankruptcies, they lost their houses, they lost their families. Some people committed suicide. I mean, it was terrible what they did protecting that fish. And all because of what? Lies. I'm not real happy with that. But I am happy that I can still find printed books, encyclopedias, for instance, that talk about things like where those fish came from. And then I've watched over the decades as the encyclopedias and the internet have changed history to benefit people that want to shut down industry. Crazy. Let me see. Bhakti. I don't know if we can be friends, but I'm sorry. Remember, I've got asthma today. You can certainly subscribe and follow me. That works. Here today, no croquet. You know what? No croquet where the dog just pooped, right? Am I right? Okay, I just had to cough really loud. Sorry. Bro personified his bro with a goat. I don't know what that means. Name a fish better than salmon. Lingcod. It's a lighter fish. I love lingcod. That's good stuff. I grew up eating lingcod. My dad would take me out on the boat every weekend if the water was good. He'd go scuba diving and I would fish. Then he would catch lingcod and I would catch, I don't know, sea bass maybe, something like that. But salmon is good. It's also good for you. It's just if I was going to make a fish sandwich, I would definitely want lingcod. Salmon, I like eating it more like a steak with rice and a great fresh vegetable. But lingcod, I want it in a sandwich with lettuce and mayonnaise and tomato slices. I want a side of fries with it. Ooh, smoke it. Salmon is delicious when it's smoked. I like it canned too, where the bones are kind of turned into crunchy but not hard, you know. Canned salmon is good. My uncle used to catch salmon every year and he would can it. That's good stuff. Growing anything by me? What do you mean, Google? I do have like squash and tomatoes that I started from seed. I've got some peppers. I've got a sweet potato that I thought was a sweet potato, but it's an ornamental, so I'm bummed. But I put a sweet potato in some soil and I'm growing my first slip ever. It's the first time I've ever grown a slip. So I'm very excited about that. I just discovered it this morning. We also have wild raspberries that are native to the East Coast. I've got some of those in buckets. I got the babies at my daughter's place last year, and they've got blooms on them, so hopefully they'll have fruit. And let me go down. I've got some lemongrass, chives, garlic chives, basil, nasturtiums. I'll plant those around the squash to keep the bugs confused. All kinds of stuff. I love both pumpkin and sweet potato. My pumpkin seeds didn't germinate. I was a bad germinator this year. I probably only had about a 30% success rate. And about 90% of my success was with one type of squash. I got it coming out my ears. I have so many squash plants. Oh my gosh. It's a good squash. And I'll be dehydrating it and making flour out of it so I can have it. I can make soup and pasta and things like that with it later in the season. There's my Nani mommy. Check out that view though. Isn't that just amazing? We bought this property off the internet. Sight unseen, just photographs. I can't eat peanuts, so we probably won't grow them, Randy. By the way, hi. I think you sneaked in when I wasn't looking. I think my brain. I'm on so many over-the-counter medications right now for my allergies. God, I'm not thinking straight. And I think our soil is too rocky. It's really shale. And even if I mix it with the goat manure. Hi, so you did just come in. Cool. No cows, Logan. We had a longhorn bull and we had a very small Hereford. What was she crossed with? Probably a Guernsey Hereford cross. We got her when she was 2 days old, but we sold her because I've never done cattle. Like I grew up raising sheep and rabbits and chickens, and I always had horses, but I've never had cattle. And we've had goats for, gosh, since 2011 or 2010, something like that. So I've done goats for years, but the cows were a whole other thing. And the longhorn bull, I felt like he was a liability because the neighbor has cows. And when they come into heat, I was concerned that he would just walk right through the fence and go breed with their cows over there. That's something you don't want when you've got a breeding program and a plan and everything. You don't want the neighbor's longhorn bull coming over. And he was pretty wild. I mean, like we couldn't have roped him and brought him back. So we were able to sell him. That was good. We had a choice. We could either sell him or put him in the freezer, and we were able to find someone that would buy him. We milk the goats. No, I've never milked a donkey. Donkey milk would have to be more expensive because it's rare, but also there's no market for it. So maybe it's not. I've never even heard of donkey milk. I mean, I know they have it. I've had horse milk before, but that was just because I was curious. It tasted like green grass. But, you know, there's sheep milk. There were places out in California where they had sheep farms and they were milking the sheep and making cheese. That's really expensive, but it's supposed to be really good. So when we got sheep, I thought, oh, yeah, I can milk the sheep, but it just didn't work out. So we sold the sheep. Sold the cows, sold the sheep. I might bring rabbits and chickens back, but I probably won't do that till we actually live here. I found the horse milk. Well, I only did it one time. I had a horse and she had a baby, and my girlfriend and I just squeezed some milk into a little cup and tasted it. It was warm and she was grazing on green grass, so it really wasn't good. But her baby liked it. I prefer the goat's milk. I like Nubian or Kinder goat's milk better than Alpine. Don't tell Rosie that. I still like her milk, but I do prefer the other types. I don't know why. It just to us has a better flavor. Meet the flockers. That was really sick. That was a sick one. Oh my gosh. Messy or Ronald do. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Abdul, is it Abdul? I don't know what that means. Messy or Ronald do. It's 7:23 p.m. in East Tennessee right now. That means it's also 7:23 in New York City and Washington, D.C. But it's 6:23 in Nashville, Tennessee. You know, Logan, if we end up living here and get things fenced and everything, we might bring in cattle, but I think we would go Black Angus. And then we could probably just raise 2 or 3, put one in our freezer or a half in our freezer. We don't eat that much meat, especially with all the other choices we have. And sell the rest. We might do something like that. But we just don't have the fencing right now. It's not a priority because I can sit out here for an hour or 2 every day and let them graze. And they've got all that in their pen they can eat. They're just not that hungry. They're overfed. I guarantee you, if we were to butcher one of those goats, there'd be a lot of fat there. Red meat is twice a week. Is that what you guys do? We probably eat it more because we have so much in our freezer. Oh, what we got in the freezer? We have duck. In fact, we just pulled some out. I'm going to be making duck enchiladas in the next few days. So we've got duck, goat, and sheep in the freezer. And then whatever's on sale at the store. We have duck eggs in the freezer and in the refrigerator and on the counter. Oh, everybody panicked. Why are you guys in a panic? Hi, Gimo. Vegan day. Oh gosh, I don't do vegan. Not that I shouldn't say that. Let me think what I did last week. No, I like cheese too much and milk. I like my dairy products a lot. I do like salads, but I like to put like feta cheese, maybe even some diced chicken breast or some steak, diced up steak on my salad. We've been eating a lot of spinach salads lately. I'd like to grow spinach. I need to find a source for sand. I need to be able to grow things in the sand. Um, every vegan I know doesn't eat dairy. Vegetarians do, but everyone I know that's vegan won't touch dairy or eggs or honey. I don't know what the problem with honey is, but they won't touch any of that. Logan, duck eggs and meat. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. And I need to get myself a tortilla press so that I can make my own tortillas because I have to buy them at the store and I only have one choice that doesn't have ingredients I'm allergic to. So I want to be able to make my own tortillas. That's true. Bacon adds flavor to everything. How vegan is a thing. Hi, little guy. It's my baby. I am going to pick some sassafras in the next few days and make myself some tea. I'm just going to use the leaves this time. Last year in the fall, I cut some branches off that were damaged and I made some tea out of the little sticks. Just boiled it. It was kind of weird. My first time boiling sticks on the stove, but it was good. And I'm going to make some with the leaves this year. Yeah, the roots I could make root beer, but I'm just going to crush up the leaves. It's so good. It's lemony, and I can't eat citrus. So to have lemony flavor to me is really special. Okay, he's doing it again. You guys, he does this all the time. See that? That's Patches. He walks over to me and just starts to pee. Guy, turd. I would use the roots, but I'd have to dig up the tree to do it, and I'd rather just use the branches and the leaves. Now, if I do have one that has to come out, I'll do what I can to get the roots out and probably find a root beer recipe. He's kind of a jerk, man. He does that all the time. Oh. Oh. Hi, sweet girl. What are you doing up there? Something big just flew past my face. I kind of have the creeps. I feel like I'm getting bit by mosquitoes, but I know I'm not. Oh, what a big girl. Poland, is that where you are? I have not been to Poland. When I was over in Europe, it was a long time ago. Gosh. I think Reagan was president, and the wall hadn't come down yet in Berlin when I was there because I was in, or maybe the wall had just come down. I was in West Germany, but I couldn't go into Poland because you guys were still kind of locked down under socialist control. That's where my family was in World War II. They all got killed. Was in Poland. Ah, you live in Germany. Okay. Yeah, the Germans rounded up my whole family and killed them in the death camps. There's no record of them anymore. Chopin? Heard of Chopin? Chopin? One of those goats is going to find that dog poop. Ugh, God, it's so gross. Well, my family in the United States survived for sure. Probably my mom had cousins and like second and third cousins and great aunts and great uncles and stuff over there that died. She didn't know any of them. She just knows that her grandpa had family. Or was it her grandmother? It would have been her grandmother that had family over there. I'm only 12% Jewish. Oh, there she is. See, she's going to reach way up to get those leaves. But she doesn't have to do that because there's leaves she can reach. They're so funny. Ah, prisoner in Germany. That sucks. Did he survive, your grandpa? Mike, we have coyotes. Oh, here goes Nani. She's going to rub her belly. Oh, no, she couldn't do it. She's pretty old. Maybe her arthritis stopped her. We have coyotes. We catch them on our game cameras every now and then. Haven't seen any lately, but they're probably in their dens right now raising their babies. There's nothing for them to eat here. I'm not free ranging my birds anymore. I was free ranging my chicken or my ducks during the day without me here, but then I saw coyote poop just outside their pen, and so they're locked up unless I'm home here with them. We had coyote wolf hybrids called coy wolves out in California. They were like coyotes times 2 or 3. They were huge, and they were very bold. They'd walk right up to you. One of them was at my chicken coop one day. That's the only time I've ever pulled my gun out of my holster, but I didn't get a clean shot, so I didn't pull the trigger. And another one started walking toward me when I was standing in my bedroom looking out the window, and our Catahoula dog went out and took it on and grabbed it by the neck and threw it around and chased it off the property. Hi, Mike. We have another Mike in the room. Your grandfather protected a family in Germany. Oh, that'll get you thrown in prison. Dang. That sucks. Yeah, Russia was pretty wicked, huh? What's the quality of the video like for you guys watching it right now? Because when I watch the playback, it looks really grainy. You know what, Mike Hawk? The craziest part, like my mom was alive during the war. She remembers because she lived on the coast of California and there were Japanese submarines just off the coast. They would have to go in the house and close all of the windows, like with blankets over them, and they could only have really small light bulbs on it at night. The towns were completely dark at night. They didn't want the Japanese to know where the cities were, as if they didn't know, right? But that was just my mom. Hello, clone. Well, we are not opening the ranch up right now. At our previous ranch, we had a campground and we welcomed people from everywhere. We had people from multiple different countries come stay with us until COVID. And then when they shut down the airports, obviously, people from around the world stopped coming, but we still had people from around the country come. That was fun. He was sentenced to forced labor by a private family in Germany. Well, that's convenient for that German family. That's convenient and horrible at the same time. I hope they took good care of him and fed him and gave him a good place to sleep, but you know, that's not guaranteed, huh? I'm glad your grandpa was a cool guy. That's neat. good to have those memories. Oh, that's good. They must have taken care of him. That's nice. They might have saved his life, honestly, right? Because if he had been sentenced to one of the death camps, he wouldn't have done so well. It would be interesting to find my family in Poland, but I really don't think they can be found because the headstones were destroyed, the records were destroyed, and nobody came out of the war like waving their hands and saying, "Hey, I'm so and so. I'm related to those people in the United States." So I honestly don't know how we would even find family over there. Some of them may have changed their names. They might have survived, but changed their names and changed their religions. I know a family, I don't know where they came from, but they were Jewish. And they moved to a town and just became like Lutheran or Presbyterian or something because there was no temple. So it really wasn't very important to them, I guess. Or maybe it was in the 1940s when being Jewish wasn't a good thing even here. Mike Hawk, there is a community similar to that going in or trying to go in not too far away from us. When I say that, I mean probably no more than an hour and a half's drive away from us. And it's going to be a corporation, and you can buy your way in. I think it's like a $10,000 buy-in, but it might be more. I don't remember everything. I just know that you can buy your way in. They do vet everybody, and it's going to be a communal thing, but I think it's going to be a sovereign citizen type deal, which would be, oh, Sparky just scared Abba. He's such a little turd sometimes. He just went crashing down there just to be silly and scared her. I think it's going to be like sovereign citizen. So it's got the neighbors kind of freaked out because if that's the case, they're not going to want law enforcement to come in if there's anything going on. Obviously, if there's like abuse going on, they won't let law enforcement in to do, investigation and stuff. I don't know. Just the name of it sounds like it's a sovereign citizen deal. But people can buy their way in and then they don't have to pay any more. But I would imagine they have to build their house. They probably have to pay some kind of annual dues or work on the commune. I don't know. They want to bring like several thousand people in, and it's got the whole area completely freaked out. Your uncle came and you never saw him again. I wonder what happened to him. Yeah, it's a big piece of property. Right now, it's not huge, but they want to buy the neighboring property. What they need is people to buy in. Sounds kind of sketchy to me. They need people to buy in so they can buy the neighboring property as well, and that'll be huge. And then everybody will have a decent enough piece of property. It seems like it's a record, like it's going to be a disaster, but we'll see. We'll see I probably won't live to see it happen anyway, because I'm in my 60s and I don't think it'll happen anytime soon. We'll see. My dad wanted to start a commune, not like a religious commune or something. He just wanted the whole family to buy in. He had 3 sisters and a brother, and they had the spouses and the children. He wanted to buy like 50 acres and let everybody own a chunk of it and then work together as a family. It probably would have been in a trust so that if somebody divorced, they couldn't take any of the property away from the family. So it probably would have been in a trust. But none of his siblings wanted to do it. And that's probably good. My dad and his siblings thought very differently. They loved each other a lot. When my dad died, that whole family fell apart. But there would have been a lot of tension, you know? Oh, no fun. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. It is possible when he came over and went through the Ellis Island checkpoint, he said what his name was, but because he was speaking in Polish or German, whatever language he was speaking in, they may not have understood his name and they would have given him a different name. You know, they would have spelled it out however they thought was correct. And he may not have realized because he didn't understand what was written necessarily at that point that they had spelled his name differently. Not that that would stop him from communicating with family back in Poland, but he may have just been working so hard and just kind of drifted off into oblivion, you know? But he may have gotten married and had a family. He may not have wanted people to know he was Polish because the Polish were not treated very well here for a long time. Oh, the Soviets. Yeah, he probably changed his name. Maybe not on purpose, but maybe. I mean, if he had people looking for him, he probably changed his name. Oh, there's duck drama behind me. It's so hard to see them. Nani. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Mommy. Yeah, he had to disappear. So maybe that's why he didn't communicate, because he was afraid that the Soviets would find him if he communicated with your family. Also, he might have been afraid for their safety. Gosh, war is so ugly, isn't it? It's the worst. I'm going to go feed my ducks and give them fresh water. Let me zoom out. There we go. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I didn't clean your coop today, kids. It was a long day. I'll get you guys freshened up real soon, okay? Hey, what are you doing sitting on eggs back there, you? You're not supposed to be sitting on eggs. See back there? Real sneaky. I've got to go pull the eggs away from her. Okay, we got a lot of rainwater last night and this morning. Some of these were empty. We just let it run off the roof. This keeps us from having to haul water up from the street down below. Okay, kids, are you ready for some fresh water? So ready. This was just cleaned yesterday. They get it dirty pretty fast. See all that goop down there? That's just from yesterday. Oh, this will be interesting doing it one-handed. I gotta use two hands. There we go. Sorry, guys. They're so funny. Look at her eating that or drinking the yucky water on the ground. Ugh, so gross. I'm surprised the goats aren't over here with me up here. They usually come because they think I'm going to give them food. Hi, kids. Hey, kids. Here you go. Here's a bucket. Here you go. Oh, there's the goats. The reason it's so dirty is because they bring their food over from over there. I haven't given them fresh food yet today. And then they come over here and get a drink and they put the food in the water. So it's not as gross as it seems like it is. I'm going to go in here now and show you some pretty gross water. Hopefully it's not too terrible. Hi, kids. Oh, look at you with the 3 eggs in there. Good job. These guys, see all that water around there? They reach through and they grab the dirt, and then they put their dirty beaks in the water and get their water dirty. But they get fresh, clean water every day, so it's not horrible. Oh, I miss being able to live here. I live at in a house in the city, and then we drive here. Sometimes I stay here in the motorhome, but a lot of times I stay at the house. I love that we get to use the rainwater, though. And when we have baby ducks, they like to eat the mosquito larva that's in the water. You guys need fresh hay, too. Everybody needs fresh hay. There you go. That's better, huh? I don't think this water's as dirty. Oh, yes, it is. Hi, guys. So we've got 3 boys in here. They're for sale. And then we've got 3 other boys, and they all got girls. Move, girl. Out of my way. Go on. Out of my way, Abba. There's no food. I have nothing for you. Oh, you're such a brat. All my goats are nice. I've had mean goats that'll hit me in the backside when I turn around. Oh, I don't miss her. She was bad. Had sheep that would nail me from behind if they could with their heads. One of them knocked me over so bad. Everybody here is sweet and mellow. They're my babies. It's a pretty good life. I wish I could do more. Okay, kids, here's fresh water. Who just squeaked? That little chirp was a broody duck chirp. We don't want anybody in here sitting on eggs because that's my boy. Look at how dirty this is. I just cleaned it a week and a half ago. I should have cleaned it yesterday or today, and I didn't. The boy in here doesn't have a sperm count anymore. He's too old. So these eggs won't be fertile. This is where I find the 5 foot, 5.5 foot long snakes every now and then trying to eat my eggs. I've found 2 of them so far. Yeah, you guys need a clean coop. Let's have some energy. Maybe I'll have coffee tomorrow so I have energy. They usually run around during the day if I'm here. So they don't really need their coop to be as clean just because they're out in the grass all day. But I'm not here. I wasn't here today or yesterday. Okay, kids, I'll be back in a little bit with food and water. So these 3 boys are probably going to end up on somebody's dinner table. This boy has his ladies. I just refreshed theirs a few days ago. My goodness, you guys. Hi. Hi. These are eggs. You can't eat them, Sparky. Why are you in my way? Ooh. My bodyguards aren't going to like you being so close to me, Sparky. I have eggs in my hand. You can't eat them. Yeah, we also keep, oh gosh, I don't have room for this. I've got a motorcycle jacket in here. We also keep goldfish in the watering trough so they keep all the mosquito larvae down. So there aren't any mosquito larvae in the main watering trough. I used to move the goldfish around and put them in different buckets, but it can get too hot in the summer for that. Hi, kids. You guys ready to go back in here and eat dinner? Like you need to. You're all so fat. My fatties. They stand in the green grass that could be their dinner, and they cry for hay, or if I pull grass out for the ducks, because I like to give them fresh grass, the goats will come eat it right out of my hand when they're standing in it. Okay, here we go. Let's get something for the ducks. Come on, kids. Here's your greens. Hi. Hey, Patches. Got to get the tractor in here. Oh my gosh, there's a lot to do, guys. We're too old for this, me and my husband. Yeah, poor baby. Huh? Okay, one-handing this gate is difficult. Sorry, guys. This is our hay shed that they really don't need because they have all that grass, right? Hey, have a blessed day, my friend in Poland. Maybe we're cousins, right? You're going to knock me over, goat. Ow, you just stomped on my foot. Oh, this is not easy. If you guys could see me right now, I look like I'm drunk. I can't stand up. Ah, goodness. There you go, kids. This is what you wanted, right? When we put this gate on here, it made it so I could feed them inside the hay shed and they won't drag hay all over the place. So it's helping to keep their pen clean. Because when I don't do that and I throw it in their pen, it gets all yucky. So they can eat the hay in here. Except my old girls. They're afraid to come over here. Oh, they have to eat later when everybody else is done. I have to fight my way out of the gate. They're pushing on it. Oh my gosh. You guys are killing me. These two girls don't want the drama, so they're not coming over here to eat. They're going to probably go out the gate with me. Hey, everybody. If you're in here, say hi. Tell me where you're from. I'm in East Tennessee. My family settled in California in the, sorry for that sound, I know it's terrible, in the 1800s, a few years after the gold rush, I think 1860 or 61. And I just fled California 4 years ago for East Tennessee. Lexington, North Carolina. Hi there. All right. Just have Nani following me. My old girl. Hi, Nani. They want their grain. And she'll come in here and cause mayhem if she can. She'll find an open bag of feed, stick her head down in it. Let's see. Hey, Mommy. As soon as I open this, she's going to stick her head in there and start eating. Hey, Mommy. Okay, got to close that. All right, come on, Nani. Let's go. Hey, kids. Got so much water when the rain came. I'm going to have to probably empty out their feed buckets. We'll see. Hey, kids. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry you didn't get to take them. You know what? I totally get that. We had to leave our donkeys behind as well. We had a mother and a son, and she was 21 years old, and she couldn't have made the trip. We had to leave our horses behind. They were, how old was he? 29 and probably 26. We're not positive how old the other one was, but that was hard, leaving them behind. It was really hard. That was a tough one. But the horses went to a family with twin girls who wanted safe horses they could learn to ride. There's water in there, but that's okay. I just can't dump it. You guys can't knock me over, okay? You have to let me do this. Let me help you. There you go. Ah, boy, goats. They'll kill you. I'm telling you. And then they'll eat your body when you're lying dead in their pen. Move out the way, boy. Oh. Too much water in there. Too much water in there. Okay. There you go, you weirdos. There we go. Okay, Nani. You gonna eat that? Oh, what a good girl. Oh, you would think they were starving, wouldn't you? 2 of your horses? Well, that's probably good. Where did you move from? Did you see? We moved from California all the way over to East Tennessee. So it was a 4-day trip with a livestock trailer with goats and sheep. Oh, you just got hoof prints, muddy, poopy hoof prints all over me, dude. Goats and sheep. We brought 1 duck. We had 4 dogs and a cockatoo. That old duck, the old gray duck that can't breed anymore because he doesn't have a sperm count. He came with us. They'll be screaming that they're starving when they've got a mouthful of food. They seriously are the funniest animals. Now I've got to go get our special food that we give the boys so they don't get bladder crystals. And I swear that little boy put poopy, muddy hoof prints all over my back. I've gone to restaurants with muddy hoof prints up my backside before. If you have goats, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. I'm sorry you didn't get to take your critters with you. That sucks. But I'm glad you got to at least take 2. Let's see. What is that? Oh, that's sweet feet. I don't want that. Here we go. Oh, I've got a mouse problem in here. I need to put some kind of trap to catch the mice. See, we give this feed to the boys. It stops them from getting the bladder crystals. We lost 2 bucklings last year to bladder crystals. It was so horrible. Oh, it was just awful. So we do what we can to make sure that doesn't happen to our little Sparky boy. And those are the 3 boys that need it, and they're the ones that like it. The girls don't really like the taste of it. So that's perfect. Makes me feel good. What part of Western North Carolina? I'm only really familiar with Boone and Asheville. And the chickens, you know what? We had chickens here. I didn't bring them with me, but I bought them as chicks. And one night they wouldn't go in the coop, and I was so mad. I mean, I tried. They were under the deck. I couldn't get them. We lived in a house just down the road from here. And I said, fine, you guys deal with what happens tonight. And all but one got butchered by the coyotes that night. I felt so bad, but I couldn't get them out from under the deck. They wouldn't come out. The one that survived put herself in the coop. Her name was Penny. So she ended up growing up with ducks. So she would go fishing for crawdads in the creek. It was the funniest thing to watch. And then unfortunately, the fox took Penny out. That was sad. She just disappeared. I found little puffs of feathers here and there. So, and it was a fox. The neighbors had seen it hanging around. So we know what happened to Penny. But I want to get chickens again. We had donkeys we used to have about 300 ducks. We raised them for the restaurant market in San Francisco. And we had donkeys in their pasture, and they had a big pond, but the donkeys stopped chasing the coyotes. They would keep the mountain lion away, but they wouldn't do anything about the coyotes. Possibly because we had dogs and they were used to our dogs. I don't know. But the thing that kept the coyotes away was when we got livestock guardian dogs. But before that, nothing. And even then, we had to get rid of most of our ducks and build several more coops. So then we had to really scale down our business. But when we had all the ducks, they were paying for all the horse and donkey food, all the goat food, all the sheep food, everything. Oh, you guys have plenty of food still. Okay, I'll give you fresh water in a couple minutes. Hi, boys. How's your food? You still got plenty of food. Hi, kids. You guys eat a lot. We're eating a lot. Okay, I promise. Tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow you get a clean coop. All right. There you go. Oh, don't bite me, Tuffy. He got attacked by a red-tailed hawk. That big boy there. Punctured his eyeball. Tore the skin off his head and his neck. He was almost completely scalped when I found him. Took him over to the neighbors. She had a suture kit. She stitched him up. We gave him some LA-200 injections 3 times. And he was in the ICU in the house. He wore a diaper and he'd run around in his diaper. He's been my pet for years. He's about 8 years old, but he's kind of a jerk to me now. Yeah, hawks. We had a problem with great horned owls. They were killing our guineas. And we had a falcon. I had rehabilitated a baby crow. I used to be a licensed rehabilitator in California. And I had rehabbed and released a baby crow, but she still hung around the house. And I think a falcon punctured her skin. She died from an infection. And then we had hawks. And the hawks, yeah, we didn't have as much problem with the hawks as our neighbor did. But that red tail that got a hold of Tuffy's head, that was just the freakiest thing. I was just sick to my stomach. I was so sad. He was in a pen. It was all chicken wire all around. But he went up to the chicken wire to tell the hawk, go away. I'm so bad. I'm all that. And you're not. And the hawk just grabbed his face through the chicken wire and was kind of working him over when I showed up. Hi, kids. Actually, I'll be back in a little bit with fresh water. All right. Whew. This asthma is a killer today. Hi, babes. You guys want fresh water too? Okay. There we go. Wow, this was just cleaned yesterday. It's so dirty. You guys got to stop doing that. It's not good. It's creepy. I think I can do it with just this scoop. But Tuffy did really well, and he's the only duck that came with us. We sold all of our ducks or gave them away. I had some favorites I was breeding, and I had just bred my first lavenders. I had some loonies. I was so excited about my colors and my patterns, and we knew we couldn't bring a bunch of ducks with us. We knew we weren't going to be set up for ducks. So we just brought Tuffy, and he could just live in a big dog kennel and then come out during the day and hang out with me and stuff. But we couldn't have a bunch of ducks. So everybody found homes. Coyotes, fox, great horned owls, falcon, red-tailed hawk, and then our neighbor had, I think, a sharp-shinned hawk that was taking out her birds. It was getting into her coops somehow. She had a really tight situation. I don't know how it was getting in her coops, but didn't have a problem with raccoons or possums, surprisingly. Pretty sure we were never hit by them. Yeah, it's a tough business being in, having a farm, trying to raise animals. All right, guys, you know what? It's been almost 70 minutes. Hey, Michael. Yeah, I'll tell Tuffy's story sometime on a video. His whole thing. He was just the sweetest little boy, kind of a Thanksgiving duckling. But he was already a pet before that happened to him. He was just out in his playpen in the day, and I had to go run some errands. When I came home, the hawk was attacking him. But the hawk had probably honestly been raised by a person and released before it was ready to hunt because it didn't know how to hunt. And same with the sharp-shinned hawk. So the red-tailed hawk and the sharp-shinned hawk, they both did not show enough fear of humans. And so I'm pretty sure a rehabber released them without fully hacking them and making sure they could catch wild. See, when you're raising a raptor, you have a mew. It's like a big, huge coop, but it's called a mew, and it allows them to fly. You have to bring them live things to eat. So it's unfortunate, but if you're going to rehab raptors, you have to be willing to put rabbits, small, like almost baby bunnies, trying to think what else, pigeons, things like that. You have to be able to put them in the coop, quail, stuff like that, so that they can learn how to catch them and eat them. But they shouldn't be going around chicken coops and going in eating chickens, although they'll eat them in an open range situation. But these guys were actually, I had one hawk that was stuck between two of my coops. It had been there all day. It was a hot day. I'm surprised it survived. I let it go. I've always had a soft spot for hawks, even though they decimate my poultry sometimes, or try to anyway. But I used to raise and release them. But I got them up to a certain point, and then I took them to a woman who put them in her mew, and she did the right thing, and then she hacked them. That's hacking is when you release them. It's a soft release. You make it so they can always come back. So they're being fed until they know how to fully hunt. They can come back to that place and get food on a regular basis, and they know that. So I don't know. Rehabbing is a tough business. I don't do it anymore. We had a mink that got smashed on the road outside our house. But I think it was heading toward our ducks, right? If I was a mink, I'd be heading toward the ducks. Probably smell them, because ours don't quack really. They chirp and they hiss, but they don't really quack unless they get attacked by another one. So it probably smelled and was coming over to get dinner, and it just got flattened. I knew immediately what it was because of the shiny fur. It's a beautiful chocolate mink. Oh gosh, it was gorgeous. Anyway, guys, I'm going to head out. I've got to do some more chores. I've got to do it with both hands, but definitely subscribe and hit the bell if you want to know when I'm going live. I generally go live in the afternoon. Sometimes I go live during the day. If I'm at the drag races, I'll go live kind of throughout the day, starting in the morning and into the evening, because I sit by the scales and I weigh the pro fuel bikes after they make their pass. And I'm very bored when I'm out there, so I love talking to people. So sometimes I do live stream from the racetrack. You can check out my lives. I have some from last weekend, just a few days ago, at the Nitro Nationals up in Ohio. And I might be in North Carolina at the end of June. I'm not sure. I have to check the calendar, see where I'm going next month. Take care, you guys. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.